Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we explore the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Milan Kohut, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced, the lessons learned, and the strategies fueling future growth. Today, I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined by Brianna Wohner, a certified weight loss coach and the founder of Brianna Wohner Yoga and Nutrition LLC. She specializes in holistic weight loss programs, combining yoga instruction and personalized nutrition coaching to help clients achieve sustainable results. Her approach stands out through practical, accessible strategies that fit real-life demands, drawing from her expertise in transforming wellness into lasting habits. With that being said, Brianna, let me officially welcome you to Founders Future.
Well, thank you, Milan. That was a really great intro. I appreciate that.
I'm happy you liked it. I liked it too. Awesome. Brianna, it's great to connect with you. I'm very grateful that you found the time to be on a podcast. We're going to dive right into everything. And what I love to do with all of my guests is a bit of traveling back in time. So before you even had your own practice, your company, what were you doing before? And then eventually, what was the motivation for starting the business?
Oh my goodness, traveling way back in time. Well, after high school, I went to college and did like the quote unquote, real thing you need to do, right? Like go to college for 4 years and get a job. It took me 5.5 because I bounced around. Still graduated with an art degree. Didn't even get a 40-hour job until I was in my late 30s. So I lived life. I moved to New York City. And I did a lot of growing there. And I will honestly be frank, it really tested my emotional stability. I ended up in the psych ward in my 20s, and knowing where I am in my journey now in my 40s. Your 20s is a tumultuous time where you're not a kid anymore, right? Like you're out of the baby stage. You graduated high school, you graduated college now, so you're an adult, but you're still learning and growing. And I didn't have that stability of like a 40-hour job because I was an artist. And I also suffered with imposter syndrome my whole life, even though I had clear evidence in front of me that I was an A student. I don't get B's, and if I get B's, I'm gonna pull it up up to A's. Classically trained in flute and piano. I won awards for those. Just like local stuff. I never, imposter syndrome. Who knows? But like, so yeah, I struggled as an artist, and then my dad got sick. And I guess backing up a little bit, I struggled as an artist, but then I had a weight loss journey. I
Mhm.
lost 52 pounds. I did it with just moving my body more and eating healthy. I had a gym membership. I didn't even, I wasn't even going to my gym membership, but I was paying for it every month. I just walked during my lunch break, and I just did little by little by little. And after 3 months, I lost 30 pounds. I bought a salad and invested in my health instead of eating a burger, which was cheaper, right? And now I can't really even eat beef because my body's like, nope, we don't want that anymore. Like it's too heavy, you know. And I never tell anybody to go vegan, but it's just like, listen to your body. And then diving into yoga, I lost more weight, and that's only because I did hot yoga. I don't, when I weight loss, I don't like market yoga for weight loss. Yoga is the mindset, right? And like the taking care of yourself and the breathing. The weight loss is the food, and then exercise whatever you choose. I never try to make anybody do yoga. To be honest, I used to work at Jenny Craig, and that's where I get my passion for helping people and knowing that like there is a market for this. Um,
Mhm.
and 90% of my people were like, nah, bah humbug to yoga, right? But, like that little percent was like, yeah, sure, yoga. And I'm like, ooh, I have a YouTube channel. I had started my YouTube channel then. But yeah, just like kind of fumbling around in life, had the weight loss, also ended up in the psych ward after the weight loss, still was deep into yoga. And I thought that saved me. And it really, what it did was it opened me up. And if anybody has been on a yoga journey, they know that like when you're connecting your mind, body, and breath, you do kind of open yourself up. And yeah, I was like, in this space in New York City trying to make it, and I just like crashed. And I will say, I never got the help that I needed. I figured it out and rebuilt myself by myself. I never had a
Yeah.
dedicated therapist. When I was in the hospital, I never talked to a doctor. So I want to say that too. That's also part of my story, that I didn't get any help. So anybody struggling that's listening to this, that's struggling, like, you can do it on your own. You can piecemeal it together. Like, you can't do it solely in a bubble, but like Google or friends or books, like books. Oh my goodness. Like, I read self-help books, like,
Yeah,
I don't
but
know,
I
people
also feel
binge
like
Netflix.
it's good to have people like you though. If I can get from point A to point B quicker, faster, and have some sort of guidance, that's a lovely position to be in though. So I'm glad
Yes.
that eventually you ended up in a position where you do have impact on a lot of other people and you can basically help them throughout the journey and really hold their hand every step of the way, which is amazing though. Now, Brianna, obviously there has been a lot of turning, a lot of adjustments and pivoting along the journey, as anybody else in business. So, what
Hmm.
we're going to talk about is where this journey overall got you and what the business really looks like today. Now, what I'm looking for right now is to really bring some clarity to our audience in terms of who is it exactly that you're trying to help right now? And also, what are the core offerings that you have in place for your clients? So, tell us all about that.
Yeah, so I am a mom, and so moms are my passion. And I know that as a mom, we always put ourselves on the back burner. So my ideal client is a mom who either knows what she needs to do and just is exhausted and doesn't know where to start, right? Needs that guidance. So somebody maybe doesn't know what to do because there's so much misinformation out here, Ozempic and other weight loss drugs, and this diet and that diet. So really, like, the mom that's like fed up and just lost, right? Like, hiding and not taking holiday pictures. It's the holiday time. She may not be in the holiday pictures, or she may make sure that somebody's standing, where she can't see her whole figure, right? Like, I'm getting teary right now because women do so much for the community. And so, yeah, that's my ideal audience. And so, I help her figure out how to eat healthy and to do it for her whole family, right? And to watch her temptations. Because I will say, I still have a sweet tooth, but I don't keep it in my house, And I will say too, with the yoga, it's the mindset, right? And going like, I don't need this, right? I need, excuse me, food to fuel my body, right? Not just empty calories because it's got a nice jingle, to the
Yeah.
marketing ad, right? So yeah, like, I want her to either rediscover who she was or discover somebody she's never seen before because she didn't have that guidance, right? Or that confidence that she could have if she lost the weight, right? Like, the weight loss is the, like, cherry on top. It's the mindset, the, like, persevering, right? Like, this this interview started off really rocky, right? Yeah, all these tech issues and stuff, but we got through it, right? Because I got to persevere, right? I said I was going to do this
Yeah.
interview, So yeah, like, just showing them how to persevere so that, after 3 months, 6 months working with me, some of my clients stay with me for a year, because they just like my support. And I'm going to be your best friend, but I'm also going to push you, right? And remind you of who you are, so that you can lose the weight, because a lot of women are like, I just can't do it. Like, I'm always going to be fat or always going to be big boned or, whatever. And like I said before, I don't push veganism on anybody or vegetarianism. It's just small portions, right? And I'm sorry, but you have to eat more vegetables, right? Like, I feel like our parents made us eat vegetables. Well, they were right. You have to eat, like, you can't get around eating vegetables. And
Absolutely.
make it fun. And the fact that, like, you're a busy mom, you can get food in. Like, I'm eating breakfast in the car, but it's something healthy. It's not pancakes. So,
Yeah. Brianna,
yeah.
I feel like everybody in your industry has a different structure to the offer or a different structure in terms of how people can actually work with you. Now,
Mm.
you already gave us a little sneak peek saying that some of the clients actually stay with you for years. But I'm curious, when you look at like the basic structure that you have in place, What is the sort of approach that you took towards this? Is it typically like a several month journey where you really work with your clients one-on-one, or is it more like a group coaching sessions? How does this really work in terms of how people can work with you?
Yeah, so I first started with one-on-one and then I've added group coaching. So for 2026, if we're talking about a business, right, my funnel is my group coaching in January, where you get me for 6 weeks. You get a group of women to go through this journey with, right? You may lose weight in 6 weeks, you may not, but you gain the knowledge, right? And in 6 weeks, you can shed a little bit of weight if you like do exactly what I tell you. And I will say, like, I don't hold the magic bullet. I don't have the secret or I don't have the answer. Like, you have the answer. I know it may sound woo woo, but you have the answer inside of you. I'm just there to pull it out, right? And to support you and to remind you, like, hey, I still have dessert. Now I don't have it all the time. And I don't, and sometimes dessert looks like strawberries instead of a piece of
Mhm.
cheesecake. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And so I do that in January. That kicks off January 19th. So anybody looking to jumpstart their year, please come join me in my January 6 week group coaching challenge. And we'll have some giveaways too for those who are um, the most interactive, right? Because I'm never gonna go, oh, who lose the most weight wins. Like that's just gross, right? It's like, no, but I want you to engage in the group, right? We're even gonna pair up a previous group I'm sorry. A previous group participant was like, hey, I want to come back this year. I really want you to pair us up, right? So that we now not only are you keeping us accountable, but we have that second layer and we get to know somebody. So I love that too. It's like all around community, which I'm
I
for.
was just about to say that this is there is a lot of benefits when it comes to doing something in a group setting because those women see that there's a lot of other women going through the same situation, struggling with the same things, going through the journey themselves, but also doing it with all the other people inside a group setting. So that's beautiful though, but this also makes a lot of sense from like business perspective. Because when it comes to your one-on-one time, there's only so many people that you can really help on a daily basis. But in terms of groups, you're going to be able to impact a lot of people at the same time. So it makes a lot of sense again. Now, I'm curious, in terms of being in a position where you can consistently onboard new women into your programs and keep changing lives, let's also talk about what's happening on the back end side of the business. And more specifically, what do you do with your marketing currently, or specifically lead generation to make that happen?
Yes, so I actually do have a business coach who is helping me out. So we're doing more marketing on Instagram, so like getting into the real trends. Also freebies and like prospecting. So really like I go out and I look for people, like for example, I have another podcast that I'm going to be on because I was just on my threads and somebody was like, "Hey, I'm into health and wellness. I have a podcast. I want, people to be on my podcast." And I was like, "Hey, me." And I dropped my links and we talked the other day, and I'm going to be on her podcast too. So I also know that like I just can't sit back and wait. I had to do that at a in-person networking event, right? Like I'm old enough to know like you have to go out like pound the pavement as they say, and I was at a networking event and I actually had like clothing I was trying to sell and I stood in the corner and no one came by me and I'm like, so if I'm gonna meet people I can't, so then I stood maybe further out by the people and they still didn't come and I'm like, you know what, this rolling rack has wheels, and I literally carted my clothes and talked to everybody, shook everybody's hand, handed out business cards. And you know what? One of those people was on my summit that I did a few years ago, and I got connections. And it was just like, so yeah, I'm reaching out and trying to find those women who are looking for help. I'm posting the social media because, people at 2 a.m. are like looking for weight loss tips. I also have a YouTube channel and that's growing little by little as well. And I also do have a membership too. So I am a yoga teacher, right? And so I have a yoga membership where every month you get new videos. And I've been doing that for the past year, and I've got a few members, which is pretty cool. And it keeps me accountable too for like making new content. And they're all 30 minutes or less. So again, like you can fit them in your busy day. I also have meditations in there as well. So yeah, those are all the things that I'm doing. Coming
A
out with
lot
merch
of variety
soon.
here. I love that. Beautiful. Now, also, one thing that I absolutely love is that you mentioned basically I would highly agree with what you said about nothing is just going to fall into your lap. So sometimes it really is about you making that manual outreach and trying to make the sale, right? Because, even though you're doing this because of the impact that you have on those people's lives, you still got to make a living. You're still running a business that needs to be successful, right? So, but also, I'm curious to get your perspective of something else, though, because everything that you've mentioned is basically on the side of organic, which is completely fine. But typically, when we talk about that stuff, there is a lot of frustration when it comes to the inconsistency of such sources, right? Especially if you talk about like word of mouth and referrals and stuff like that. So, I guess my question is, have you ever tried um, some other sources, maybe running paid advertisements to create something more scalable and predictable? Or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I don't like Facebook ads. Facebook took $1,000 from me in 10 days because I clicked or didn't click something and it made the ad where like the more people you see it, the more money you're spending. And like I would love to be on that type of advertising budget, but I am not. And instead of talking to me, they blocked me from just marketing. They didn't block my account. And I had to get my money back from PayPal. So I mean, I boost here and there, but I don't feel comfortable putting money into Facebook marketing. YouTube or LinkedIn, I might try. LinkedIn is like $2.99. Ooh. So yeah, but that's my experience with paid advertising.
I got you. Now, when it comes to running those strategies, I'm just curious, have you tried getting somebody to really figure out the best strategy and kind of like guide you the same as you're guiding your clients, or have you just dabbled into it and spend a couple of months trying to learn how to do it yourself, or what was the thought process back then?
So my thought process is I need to reach out to a college marketing intern because that's the type of marketing budget I have. But it seems like you guys have a marketing engine that comes out of this podcast. Yeah?
In terms of closers that I owe, you mean?
I don't know. Like what are you really asking me?
No, no,
Like
no,
I
no,
don't
no.
yeah, I
So
don't
yeah, absolutely. What I'm wondering is what was the thought process back then, though? Because whenever I get into these conversations, typically what happens is you either have to hire somebody who actually has the knowledge in terms of how those platforms work so that you don't end up losing money. Because
right.
with social media platforms, that's the easiest thing to do. Just rush the process, get into it, and then you end up spending a lot of money for not really that much return. So I wanted to see if you maybe implemented the same thought process that you have when it comes to your clients and really looked for help and somebody who's going to walk you through the process, or if maybe you just tried looking up some strategies and you were like, okay, well, maybe let's give it a shot.
Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah. No, I mean especially during my own weight loss journey, like I knew that I had to write down what I was doing. Now, not counting calories, really, right? Because I hate math, but you do need math. So I'm like better at math. But you know what I'm saying? If like counting calories makes your head hurt, if counting macros makes your head hurt, then just think about eating healthy food, right? Your body needs broccoli, spinach, eggplant, like we all have the internet at our fingertips. If you don't have an iPhone, you have a Google phone. If you don't have a Google phone, you have a Samsung phone. Everybody's got the internet. And there are no more dictionaries. I'm in my 40s. We didn't have the internet growing up. I had to get this big old book. And sometimes I had to get another book because there were so many words. They're in multiple books. Like, but when I, yeah, so when I was going through my weight loss journey, I had, my fitness pal, which again there were no apps, so I was just logging things down, but I knew, like, I stepped on the scale and I was like, I can't get higher than that. What do I need to do? And I may not have the blueprint, but I'm like, I know I need to eat healthier, I know I need to move more, and I got to track this. And so that's what I teach, right? I have an app that I use, and so you track your weight loss, because you can willy-nilly it, but if you're it's science. It's science and math. If you're not tracking your weight loss, you don't know where you are. You don't know where you're going. You don't know how much weight you've lost. You don't know how much weight you can lose, And then the science part of it is like, my body is a machine. What do I need to feed this machine to make it run smoothly? Right? Like, if you put
Absolutely.
sugar in your gas tank, what happens? If you put
Absolutely.
sugar in this tank, guess what happens? The same thing, right? Like, you're running better than a car with sugar in the tank, but not very fast and not very far. And you got
Very
aches and
true.
pains and you can't fit into your clothes. So yeah, it's like, I try to make it really easy. It's like, start tracking, like, make that commitment to yourself, start tracking, um and like, the weight will come off, right? You got to drink your water, you got to eat your vegetables, you got to move your body. And I don't subscribe to any one religion, but you got to have a spiritual something, right? Whether it's the Bible, whether it's the Quran. I like the Course in Miracles. Like, you just got to know that there's something greater than you that you have to live for. And
Yeah,
then,
that definitely
besides your
helps with the
kids,
consistency though.
with the
Something that is bigger than just myself. You know what I mean? So,
consistency, yeah.
uh, absolutely. Now, Brianna, let me also ask you this. In terms of the podcast, delegation is really becoming one of the biggest topics on the podcast. So, also considering where you find your business right now and what is the direction that the business is heading. I'm also curious, whether you're trying to create maybe like an ecosystem that eventually supports other people joining you, maybe hiring somebody for whether that's like a marketing department, whether that's salespeople, no matter what the case might be, are you trying to build that kind of company, or would you rather just keep it smaller, more sustainable, more to yourself, and basically run it as a one-woman show? What is the idea?
Milan, I am sick and tired of being a one woman show. Do you hear me? Like, I do everything, and I'm an artist, so I do the graphics. I went to school for advertising. I do the design, I do the video, I do the market, I do everything. And like, even when I was trying to be a full-time photographer, one of my favorite photographers, I want to say, is Matthew Jordan Smith. He said, if you don't like editing, delegate it. If you just want to shoot pictures, delegate the editing. So yes, I do want to delegate all of it. But if I could start
100%.
somewhere, it would probably be marketing. Um, because I only have so many hours in the day. And like, right now, sustainably, I am driving a lot. So if somebody could be posting online for me and, like, come up with something, and I'm just like, oh yeah, okay, that looks good. All right, continue, that would be great. Lead generation would be amazing. I'm trying to do that organically now. Um, because I don't have as many leads as I would like. And so that's why in January, I'm hoping this podcast gets a lot of ladies. And then after that too, like, that's a little taste of me. And then you can decide to go for one-on-one coaching, because I only do that group coaching once a year. I tried it twice last year and it didn't fit in my schedule, but I still did that second one, and it wasn't as hands-on as I like to be. Like, this one in January is like, you get me on Zoom. I'm talking to you, right? The other one, since I was so busy and the other participants, it was video. It was still effective because I still got
Mhm.
results, but I like to be hands on. So yeah, and then you do one on one with me, and then if you want to stay in my sphere, like I said, I have my yoga membership. Um, but yeah, and two, I would love to have other weight loss coaches underneath me, and other yoga teachers underneath me too, like, doing content, because weight loss is an epidemic, or obesity is an epidemic, right? Especially in America, like, there's so much processed food because of marketing. Point blank,
Mhm.
period. Like marketing
Yeah.
is the psychology of selling stuff to people and like messing with their emotions,
Yeah.
and I want people to be what I call informed consumers. Like know what you're buying, right? If you're going to buy something processed, cuz I'm not touting get rid of all processed foods, right? I have a granola bar, I've got breakfast bars or whatever, but like turn it around, read the ingredients. If you cannot pronounce it, it doesn't belong in your body. And if you want to be a tech nerd, get this app I use called Yuka, and it'll scan it for you, you know? And I do both. I read it and I use my brain and I do the lazy way and I scan it. And sometimes the Wi-Fi is not working in the back of the store, so then I have to use my brain to read, but it's just like it's not that hard, right?
It's
And do
not
you
that
love
hard.
your
It just
body?
takes a little bit of work though.
A
So
little bit of
that's
work.
I would say that's basically the key takeaway from what you're talking about. Now, Brianna, before we have to wrap it up here, let me also ask you this. Obviously, you just gave us a sneak peek in terms of what you're planning for the future, having somebody else help you, at least with the content and stuff like that. So obviously, that's one of your goals. But really, t thinking about maybe the whole next year, what would you say are like the biggest targets, biggest goals, revenue milestones that you want to hit?
Oh my goodness. Well, revenue. So I am 3 years in May it'll be year four. And I'm just trying to hit $60,000. But my sales goals, I think, say otherwise because I'm launching that in January. I plan on having and I do events around the city. So I've got that in January. Even before my group coaching launches in January, I have an in-person event in January on January 9th. And then in May, I want to say I'm putting together a like an expo. We're still like workshopping what exactly we're doing, but it's wellness professionals together, right? Having our services in one space. And then what else? I mean, I don't have it all listed, or do I? I'm like, yes, I do right here. I'm like, it better be here. Obviously always looking for one-on-one clients, but like, oh, I want to bring my Simple Wellness Summit back. So I used to do the Simple Wellness Summit. I did it with a partner and it went off really well. And so now I want to do it by myself. Unfortunately, she's got like health issues. And so doing something big like that, because we did it for 3 days, but I definitely want to bring my summit back where we interviewed 22 people in the health and wellness space, and a lot of my people were local people. So, some Milwaukee local talent got to get on my microphone. But yeah, just talking about health and wellness, giving tangible ideas that grew my list, about 100 people and like connected me to other wellness folks in the industry. So I want that to be a yearly thing for sure. So yeah, I mean, just,
There is a lot of
six,
variety though.
60K
A
plus.
lot of ambition. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of,
No,
oh my
absolutely. For
God, are
for
you
some
kidding me?
reason, I have no doubts that you're gonna hit those goals. So there is a lot of passion for what you're doing, and obviously you're going through the trials and tribulations of being a business owner, right? But the most important thing is that you haven't given up, and I don't feel like this is something that you will do anytime soon. So, Brianna, at this point, let me say thank you for taking the time today, sharing your story with me and the audience. If anybody wanted to reach out, perhaps even work with you in the future, how to go about it?
Yes. So if you want to reach out to me in the future, you can go to my website, BriannaWohner.com. That is Brianna with two N's and Warner, Wohner. And I'm sure it's going to be in the show notes. You can follow me on social media at Bree.the weight loss coach. That is again Bree.the weight loss coach. I am on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. And now I'm on TikTok. Yeah, and I did want to say something too, like you mentioned that perseverance is hard. I don't think it's hard if you tap into the mindset, right? Because everything's hard. And this is something I actually learned at Jenny Craig, right? Like being fat is hard and being in shape is hard, but you got to
Mhm.
choose your hard, right? Like I went to the gym yesterday. My body hurts, but it's even harder working through a fall. I fell 2 months ago and I'm still going to the gym because I'm not going to give up. right? And so you just have to have the mindset of just like not giving up, because it's going to be hard. Life's going to be hard. There's no rainbows
Absolutely.
and cupcakes, although I wish,
Yeah.
confetti
That's what I
everywhere.
always say though. It's never gonna be just sunshine and rainbows. It's just not how that works. So, but beautiful. Brianna, again, thank you. It was a pleasure to have you on the podcast. And also to our listeners, if today's conversation inspired you as well, make sure to subscribe to Founders Future on your favorite platform. And also, if you're a business owner, more specifically a consultant or a coach, or you have an agency and you're trying to scale the business and really enhance both your sales and marketing efforts, also visit closers.io, get in touch with our team, and discover how exactly we scaled our company from 0 to over 30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on crushing it, and I'll see you on the next one.